Hey, this is Austin Harman Mixes, and welcome to episode number 5 of my Fundamentals of Audio series. Today, we're going to be covering signal flow. What is signal flow? Well, first, let me just tell you, if you are an expert audio engineer, this video is not for you. This is for somebody who's trying to learn the basics of audio mixing. I'll have more videos for you experts out there later, so go ahead and skip this one. But for all of you who are trying to learn how to be an audio engineer, this one's for you. Let's get into signal flow. The basics of signal flow are quite easy to understand with an analogy. Right behind me, you can see I have an audio console, this big mixing board here, and I have a microphone here in front of me. But the magic of translating the signal from this microphone to the board, to the recording system, to YouTube, is what we would refer to as signal flow. Now, signal flow is very important to understand because as an audio engineer, you're often faced with situations where you need to troubleshoot a line, instrument, or something to that effect, and understanding how the actual signal makes it from point A to point B is very important. At its core, signal flow is made up of 3 distinct things: inputs, processing, and outputs. Let's start with inputs. An input is something like a microphone, an instrument on stage, a music track, or some kind of thing, audio source, coming into your system. Straightforward. Next, let's cover processing. Processing is how we adjust the input coming into the system, whether that be by way of equalization, compression, so on. We'll get to those in a later video. Then your outputs are how that audio signal actually leaves the system, whether that be via speakers, recording devices, etc. Now, let's take an example of signal flow. Say we have a band that's on stage, okay? Imagine you have a vocalist, somebody who sings, standing at the front of the platform, and they're holding a microphone. Now, that microphone is currently working, but I'm going to step through the same example and tell you how it's not working, and we will think about what the problem is. The vocal comes out of the mouth into the microphone. That mechanical action of air against the diaphragm is translated to electrical signals, which is then passed over radio frequency to the wireless receiver. That wireless receiver translates the radio frequency into analog voltage, which is subsequently passed along a microphone cable to an audio console. Once it hits an audio console, whether it's analog or digital, the process differs slightly. In the analog world, it will hit what's called a preamplification circuit, where the small electrical signals from that microphone are stepped up in a way that it allows for processing via the circuitry of the audio console. Now, in the digital world, those same audio signals are converted to digital signals, and those digital signals are then subsequently modified and manipulated inside of a computer. Once the processing happens, that audio signal is then outputted via the audio console to various sources. Let's say in this case, a speaker system. Those audio signals we discussed, whether analog or digital, then leave the console, okay? In the digital world, that's via a digital to analog converter. That analog conversion creates electrical signals that then travel along speaker cables that subsequently hit a amplifier. That amplifier then steps up those audio signals, and those audio signals are then reproduced by a speaker system. Now, that whole signal flow is very important to understand because let's say the vocal mic is not working. At any point along that chain or of the signal flow, something could be wrong. Whether you have a problem with the cable, whether you have a problem with the audio console, whether you have a problem with the amplifier, or whether you have a problem with the speakers, understanding how the signal actually goes from the input through the processing to the output is very important to understanding how to actually troubleshoot that system. So as an audio engineer, you must understand signal flow. This has been episode number 5 of the Fundamentals of Audio series. This is Austin Harman Mixes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.